Now here is an Inside the Eye feature from our global friendly outlet sources exclusively picked for Blue Eye Media. Learn the truth behind what mainstream and opinion outlets will never say. Get the inside facts of this chronicle.
Donald Trump is about to spend up to $20 million of your money to give ICE agents shock gloves. Yes, that's real. The Associated Press confirmed that ICE agents will soon be getting gloves they can wear to shock individuals they try to detain. ICE is planning on spending up to $20 million of taxpayer dollars to buy these shock gloves. They're called, quote, conductive distraction and de-escalation devices. Mind you, they still haven't put cameras, body cameras, on every ICE agent, even though money was allocated for the ICE agents to have body cameras, but they are using money to buy shock gloves. So they're normal patrol gloves. They're created by a company called Compliant Technologies. And apparently you can just switch it on and activate electrical mode. And you can shock the person by putting it on the person's skin, grabbing someone. Yes, this is real. ICE agents are now going to be walking around, grabbing people, shocking them, electrocuting them across the United States of America. Spread the word, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
Sponsored by Piping Productions and Blue Eye Media.
Before you go, our book, WTF America, is available for pre-order now. It's the story of how we got here and how we fight our way back. To pre-order, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.
We're mourning America, an America we once loved, an economy in shambles, wrecked by one man's obsession with tariffs, a failed idea from another century, families and farmers paying record gas prices for diesel, for groceries, everything worse and more expensive, AI coming for our jobs, data centers taking our water, our power, our peace of mind, breaking our kids, corruption everywhere, thieves and liars, grifters and criminals, protectors of predators, running our government, humiliated abroad, embarrassed at home. Our capital, once a place of honor, now an armed camp and an ugly joke. All because one party won't stand up, won't tell the truth. Republicans know Trump is destroying America. In private, they whisper how much he's hurting them. We can end this. Stop the inflation, stop the corruption, stop the humiliation. But the ones who broke this country, the ones who bowed to Trump like a king, have to go. Because if we don't stop them now, there may not be another morning in America.
Humane shock gloves.
Yes, we should talk about this.
Millions of dollars on, Jim. I mean, this is absolutely insane. They say it's going to be used to try to, take control or de-escalate situations when they're encountering people like that, civilians. You know what it's going to end up being used on? People like you and me.
Let's bring in our friend Nick Valencia, independent journalist, the host of Nick Valencia News. Nick, you've done amazing reporting on immigration throughout all of this. And I guess I should dial back a little bit of what I was saying a moment ago. It's not like ICE has really stopped doing anything that is terrible in this country. They've been doing terrible things nonstop. But there has been an uptick in the arrests. There has been an uptick in their activity. And now there's more disturbing video of them just doing crazy abusive stuff.
Yeah, and it's in and around Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. It's gotten really, really active. It's picked up. And you and I both know this, that ICE really has never stopped. It comes in and out of the news. It seems
Right.
to breathe like everything else. Sometimes people pay attention, sometimes they don't. The numbers don't lie, though. And we're looking at a video from Herndon, Virginia. It's about, an hour or so outside of the nation's capital, right in D.C. And this is a suspected federal immigration agent. He's wearing a U.S. Marshal's vest. We know that the Marshals operate in task force with ICE. And it appears as though he placed an object in the Spanish language community. This is going viral. People think that's a tracking device, and it's getting people very, very concerned.
God.
Nothing is straightforward. Some of the more viral comments that we've seen from that video that we posted that went viral is at what ends will they stop? To what lengths is ICE willing to go? And again, U.S. Marshals vest, but we know that the Marshals do work in task force with ICE, Jim.
Yeah. And the dude like slicks back his hair as he goes by. I mean, dude, come on. Do they only hire douchebags in this agency? That's my question. But Nick, the other thing that we should mention is, and I saw this story and I know you saw it, and apparently the office of Virginia Congressman Don Beyer is working on this case. A new video, this according to NBC News 4, new video shows an ICE agent pulling a gun on a Northern Virginia woman who was driving her car in Falls Church. That's also right outside D.C. This was earlier this week. The agents accused the woman of trying to run them over. And then the woman says, no, I have dashboard video. I have my own cell phone video. And that's not what happened. I think we have that video. If we can play it, we should. But if not, if we can't play it, maybe you can just talk us through what happened, because it's a crazy case.
And I think every ICE agent is trained with saying, hey, you almost ran me over. That seems to be their sort of go-to line of defense. We heard it in the case of Renee Good. I mean, look, if Alex Pretty had a car, they'd probably have said that. They shot him in the back. In this case, she's a psychologist, a licensed psychologist who works with undocumented immigrants. She was visiting some law offices in Falls Church, Virginia, when she spotted ICE doing their thing. And if you've ever seen them in person, it's very upsetting. It causes a sort of physical reaction to some people. She starts recording. They allege and claim that she was following them. Now, her dash cam video, it shows a totally different narrative from what ICE agents are saying, and it escalated very quickly. They pulled a firearm on her, and they trained that gun on her, and they said, look, you're following us. Stop following us. She pushed back immediately, saying, hey, look, my dash cam shows something completely different. And where have we seen this before, Jim? In nearly every single interaction that U.S. citizens have, she's a U.S. citizen, by the way.
Yeah.
In nearly every interaction that they have, ICE puts out a narrative that is disproven or proves to be something entirely different when the facts come out.
Yeah, we're trying to get the footage together. I thought I had sent it to my guys, but I didn't. That was my mistake. But the woman's name is Carolina Molina. She shared the dash cam and cell phone videos of the interaction with News 4. She said she had just witnessed the ICE agents arrest two men in a Falls Church parking lot. She told Channel 4 she was in the parking lot dropping off business cards with immigration lawyers to offer counseling services. When she passed the ICE agents, she shouted at them from her car window. I mean, so she obviously doesn't like ICE, but who does like ICE? Nobody likes ICE. And then they kind of pursue her is the deal. And then there's this interaction, and it really does remind me a little bit of what took place with Renee Good, because, they accused her of, trying to go after them. And it's really scary shit. And they pull a gun on her. And hopefully we're going to get this together, because I saw this yesterday.
You almost ran us over.
I didn't almost
You almost ran us over.
You're
Stop
so
playing.
full of shit.
Stop playing.
You are full of shit.
All right? You're not funny.
Yeah.
The video is only about 40 seconds long, and she's there standing her ground. She's like, look, I'm not scared of you. I don't know how you would act. I don't know how I would act, but that's a gun pointed at her face.
Yes.
It's women on the front lines, the chingonas that are out there, the badasses that are standing to face with these ICE agents. And as if we need another reason to not like them, it's videos like this, it's killings at the hands of ICE agents that then end up back on the streets. And then it's this new story that, Matt and I were talking about that you guys flagged to me about these humane shock gloves.
Yes, we should talk about this.
And millions of dollars on, Jim. I mean, this is absolutely insane. They say it's going to be used to try to, take control or de-escalate situations when they're encountering people like that, civilians. You know what it's going to end up being used on? People like you and me, people like the lady right there who was filming them. It's not going to be for the people that are part of their targeted enforcement operation, like we're seeing here from a body camera. It's going to be on everyday U.S. citizens who are now becoming normalized to this activity.
Yes.
That's the real concern that I have, Jim. I don't know about you. I'm so grateful that you spend time focusing on this with your big audience. But for me, we talk about this every single day, and I see the interest in the country come and go. I'm just really grateful that right now people seem to be interested again because they're seeing this escalation. And again, the numbers don't lie. There are people being taken into custody every day.
Right. And the Associated Press, I believe, had an exclusive story on this yesterday or the day before, talking about how ICE agents may soon be outfitted. And this is real shit, folks. This is really happening. May soon be outfitted with gloves that can deliver shocks to suspects that they want to bring in and detain them. And this is footage that we pulled, I think, off of the company that makes the gloves, their website. They put out a YouTube video. And so this is it, of them, of some officer, some police department somewhere using this glove on this gentleman right here. But, the fact, and Julia Ainsley, who is the immigration reporter for NBC, she reported earlier today, a senior DHS official tells me all ICE officers will begin wearing ZAP gloves to deliver non-lethal electric shocks on people resisting arrest by the end of September. So by the end of September, again, right before the elections, their ICE officers are going to start wearing these ZAP gloves.
And we know that they're going to be so judicious about all of this, right? And how they use this and their discretion and how they use this. And this comment, I mean, this is something that I think about. This is new to me. We're looking into this today. Associated Press had the exclusives. I'm sure if you do enough digging, you'll find out that whoever's at the top of this company that's now got the contract, you know where I'm going with this, Jim.
Please remember to subscribe. It's so important to support independent journalism. It matters. It matters when you subscribe. It matters when you like. It matters when you share. It matters. And it matters when you watch. So thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I mean, you never know with these things. It's quite possible, especially with the level of corruption that we've seen. But the other aspect of this, Nick, and you know this all too well because you worked in Minneapolis after all of those terrible tragedies up there. There is a sadistic quality inside the Trump administration, inside the Department of Homeland Security, inside ICE, where they just sort of get their jollies from abusing non-white people in this country. And they hire people who apparently enjoy this as well. It's a sadistic quality of this agency. It's why people want ICE to just be abolished entirely. But I mean, there's this image of shock troops, on our streets. Donald Trump appears to be ready to make that happen by outfitting ICE with shock gloves. And it's just deeply disturbing to me. And I don't understand how this can be defended from a constitutional standpoint. We're going to have police officers go around shocking the crap out of people with their gloves. I mean, it's just insane.
Every day we're seeing them defy court orders. And I mean, it brings me to think about what I recently heard from Senator Fetterman talking about, well, we haven't seen President Trump break or defy any court orders. What are you kidding? You kidding me? Watch the videos that you just played right here in the last 5 minutes. Look at what they're doing now. And it's a sort of markup and slow tick up to this normalization of Trump's private army is what we're seeing. The midterms are coming up. We know what is at stake for the Republicans. We know that he's losing support on some issues as he's jamming things like AI and technology. And it's these bits of technology that are now being perfected on undocumented immigrants and later going to be used on undesirable Americans. That is something that we focus on Nick Valencia News, on our platform. It's not just social justice or civil liberties of undocumented immigrants. It's of all of us, Jim. It's these flock cameras that are being used, the surveillance state, drawing a line around a neighborhood that ICE can now use the millions and millions of dollars that they have at their disposal to figure out where people go, tracking their footsteps, their actions, their routines. All of this stuff is a just slow burn towards, I don't know. I mean, people call it fascism, right? I mean, we see it out there, elements of it, and it's not like
it is fascist. It's fascist. It's fascist. And if you're a Latino in this country, and you drive a car, you probably should have a dash cam video capability in your car. I mean, you just probably need to have that. Maybe I need to go out and get one. Maybe you need to go out and get. I mean, I just think that it's better to be prepared for what may be coming, and it's terrifying. The other thing, though, speaking of cameras, though, Nick, is that these ICE agents are supposed to be wearing body cam footage, and they haven't been wearing the body cam footage, right? I mean, that's the other thing.
we see these videos where they have them on them, you know, and
Right.
then they never see the videos released. It's always part of a federal investigation. Which is why it's so important, which is why they're trying to limit, you know, the cell phones. People out there with their cell phones recording.
Yes.
This is the biggest weapon against the Trump administration. It's the cell phone. And when they get aggressive against U.S. citizens and start training their firearms, shocking them with these humane gloves, defying court orders, being unlawful on the streets, you know, we should all be concerned. And it is happening more and more aggressively. And we're seeing these videos again emerge, U.S. citizens on the other end.
And I can hear some of the MAGA zipperheads and Fox News goofballs saying, "Oh, well, they're taser guns. You know, police officers use taser guns." That's different than a police officer putting his hands on you and then immediately being able to shock the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
equate it
are
to
we
a
doing in this
beefing,
country?
that
How
it
are we
doesn't leave
reaching this?
marks or any marks or scarring or anything like that. If it's used the way it's intended to, look
Yeah.
at who we're putting on the street. It's the Keystone cops. It's people that don't have training. It's people like you said so accurately, Jim, that they are misogynistic or they've been accused of sexual assault, or we have recordings of them being hateful towards women or people of color.
Yeah.
I talked to an ICE agent recently who I went to high school with because, look, I don't agree with what he's doing, but I think it's our burden of responsibility as journalists to get into their mindset. And I'm not going to say his name, but he really believes what he's doing. And he's like, "You'd be putting my family at jeopardy if I came out and give you information about what we're doing." No, he's putting himself in jeopardy by choosing to do this. There is all sorts of mental gymnastics that the ICE agent takes in order to justify what they're doing. And they say it's done in the premise of law and order. There's nothing lawful about what we just talked about right now.
And they're also traumatizing families. The Dilley Detention Center is still operating. People are being separated from their children. Children are being separated from their parents. And I think I see one piece of video about kids being taken away from their parents. Do we want to talk about that one, Nick? Is that something we should
Yeah,
talk
you know, this is something that happened in Florida. It was posted by the Guatemalan Mayan Center. They do great work out of South Florida. And this is a family who was reportedly, according to the Guatemalan Mayan Center, leaving church. School started this week for a lot of kids, and they were on their way to go buy new shoes for their kids. They were profiled in one of these so-called cabana stops. The dad is an undocumented. He was taken into custody, and this is something that we posted on Nick Valencia News. It's going viral just because of what the sadistic nature of it. You know, you have this kid right here crying. He's on his way, happy, right? He's going to go get some new Jordans or new shoes or whatever it is for school. They get pulled over, and now their life is entirely different. According to local reports and advocacy groups, the kids are now with the eldest sister, who's also a U.S. citizen. But what you're seeing here now is this father basically negotiating for more time with his family so he can hug them and say goodbye.
Wow.
Again, another one of these viral clips that we saw emerge this week.
It's so terribly sad. And Nick, it pisses me off because, you know, the Stephen Millers of the world, they're so heartless and sick. They don't get that there are a lot of mixed status families in this country. And, you know, he and I had this big debate in the White House 9 years ago about the Statue of Liberty and immigration in this country. And he will not let go of the idea that, you know, that people are in this country to work, that a lot of immigrants are here to work. And they just think that if you sweep up all the non-white people, brown people, who are undocumented in this country, that you're somehow going to unleash this great economy. It's such a crock of shit. There's so many
shit, and it's actually the exact opposite.
It's the exact opposite. They don't. And the economy is already in the crapper for working people in this country. You're going to make it that much worse if you start to, you know, realize these fantasies they have of mass deportation.
Yeah.
And it seems to me the cumulative effect of what they're trying to pull off here, Nick, is they're trying to ratchet, and this has been going on since they came back in office. They're trying to ratchet up the misery factor to a point where they think in their sick minds that people will just start deporting themselves, that they'll just start leaving the country. They'll just pack up and go. And they don't understand the desperation that exists in many of these families. And because there are mixed status families, you know, dad can't go. Dad may be undocumented. He can't go because he's got kids that are documented that are in this country legally, or he might have a wife. And it's just the fact that they've just had this blanket abusive, sick policy. It just doesn't it's not in touch with reality. It's not in touch with
cruelty
humanity.
is the point, Jim. Cruelty is the point for this
Cruelty is the point.
administration, and we are fighting a game that they're playing here with a moving goalpost, where they continue to say, "Meet me in the middle," and then they take a step back. Where they say, "We are against illegal immigration." No, you're against all immigration. You don't think asylum is written into this? It's not written into the Constitution of this country, and they want to take it to court to throw asylum out of this country. If there wasn't such an opportunity for people to come here to work, to be the cheap labor, to be, as we say in Spanish, la mano de obra, the working class of this country, why would they come here? There's a whole system set up here for them to thrive and exist. And it's like when we decide, or where there's certain administrations in power, they decide that they're the boogeyman and they toss them out. You know, we believe that it's now a time to be truthful, not neutral. That's our motto. Solo el pueblo salva al pueblo. Only the people save each other. I believe the conversation on immigration should start an amnesty. But you know this, covering politics, there's a lot of state house races in Texas and Arizona after amnesty was given that flipped from Republican to Democrat. And the Republicans don't want that to happen again. They lose this bargaining chip of a boogeyman during election year. This could be solved. We could solve this. It doesn't have to be this way. The last thing I'll say here, Jim, I'm really grateful for the time, because this shows people in our audience that morality does not equal legality. Legality, whatever they have going on here that they say is legal, is not moral, which is why we're taking the stance that we are, and we're going to continue to do it. And I hope you keep following our reporting, man. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Nick. And I love the fact that you found your voice covering this issue over the last year and a half, man. It's been a wonderful thing to see. And it does a lot of good, because in addition to informing the public, it lets people know in vulnerable communities that people are listening to them, that journalists are listening to them, that they're willing to tell their stories, and that the other human beings recognize what is being done to them is completely crazy and un-American. And it's why Trump's numbers are in the toilet on a whole host of issues. But he thought immigration would be his bread and butter issue. They're in the toilet on that too. So the public has rejected his policy and Stephen Miller's policy of cruelty in this country. And the public is just never going to be on that side. People are just not as mean and nasty. I mean, maybe some people in MAGA are and on Fox and so on, but most people are just not as mean and nasty as Donald Trump and Stephen Miller. And those two bozos will never get that through their heads. That's the long and the short of it. They'll never understand it. I covered this back in 2018 when he got his ass kicked in the midterms because of immigration. And it's going to keep happening over and over again when they dial up this kind of nastiness and abuse. And they can't sanitize it. The public can see with their own eyes. And like the lady in Fairfax County, Virginia, with the gun in her face. Yeah. I mean, it's just, people have had it with that. They don't want that in this country. And
he's now starting to impact his own support, right? It's people that we saw initially last summer. I saw the Let's Go Brandon flag come down in Delano, California, South Texas.
Taking him down.
Covering Bobby Polito. I see now Latinos who voted for Trump saying, fuck, man, I regret what I did. I really fucked up my small business. Because when they say they're pro-business, they mean pro-big business. They're not pro-small business.
It's pro tech bros is what they mean by
tech bros. That's it, man. That's it. God bless you, Jim Acosta. Thank you. I blame you for the success that we're having.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate you, and thanks for what you're doing. Keep on trucking, and let us know when you see more of these videos, because I want to get them on every chance we can. So thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, man.
Take care.
Follow Blue Eye Media for exclusive insights and breaking news sources from global-friendly outlets that you won't get from the mainstream TV and radio outlets of America. Learn how to play the flute of the globe and learn the real truth.